What is the true cost of a promise you never keep? Not a promise to someone else, but the quietest, most common one we make. The promise to ourselves that we'll start tomorrow. It feels like a harmless deferral, a small loan taken from the future. But what if it's not a loan? What if it's an auction, where every tomorrow we utter sells off a small piece of the person we were meant to become? We see procrastination as a simple character flaw, a sign of laziness or poor time management. We joke about it, we create memes about it, we accept it as a universal quirk of the human condition. But beneath this casual acceptance lies a more complicated and painful truth. It's a battleground of anxiety, fear, and self-doubt. In this video, we're not just going to talk about procrastination. We are going to calculate its cost. We will deconstruct the phrase, "I'll start tomorrow," to understand the intricate psychological machinery behind it, the hidden debts it accumulates, and the profound impact it has not just on what we do, but on who we become. We will answer the question, what is the final bill for a lifetime of waiting? Most of us think we understand procrastination. It's choosing Netflix over the gym. It's putting off that big project until the night before it's due. It's the mountain of laundry that becomes a permanent fixture in the corner of the room. We see it as a simple equation. The immediate pleasure of leisure outweighs the distant pain of a deadline. This is the common myth, that procrastination is a failure of logic, a miscalculation of priorities.
We believe if we just had more willpower, a better calendar, or a stricter schedule, we could conquer it. We tell ourselves stories of brilliant work done under pressure, of diamonds forged in the fire of an impending deadline. We celebrate the adrenaline-fueled all-nighter that results in a passing grade, seeing it as proof that the system works. But if procrastination is just poor planning, why does it feel so bad?
Why is the brief moment of relief we get from putting something off so quickly replaced by a low-grade, persistent anxiety that hums in the background of our entire day? What if our focus on laziness is a complete misdiagnosis? What if we're not avoiding the task, but the feeling associated with the task? Let's re-examine this through a different lens: emotional regulation. This is the psychological concept of managing our emotional state. When we face a task that makes us feel anxious, insecure, bored, or resentful, our brain's primary goal isn't to complete the task, but to get rid of that negative feeling immediately. "I'll start tomorrow" is not a logistical plan. It is a powerful, instantaneous anesthetic for uncomfortable emotions. Think about that report you need to write. You're not just avoiding typing words on a page. You're avoiding the fear that your words won't be good enough. You're avoiding the anxiety of facing a blank page or the frustration of a complex problem. In that moment, the promise of tomorrow feels like a magic wand. It instantly removes the negative feeling and replaces it with a temporary false sense of control and relief. Here is the intellectual tension. The very strategy we use to avoid short-term discomfort is what creates long-term, chronic suffering. The anxiety doesn't vanish. It just compounds with interest. We've traded a sharp, manageable pain for a dull, inescapable ache. So here is our first real insight. Procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an emotional management problem. The phrase, "I'll start tomorrow," is a short-term emotional painkiller, and its primary side effect is the slow, silent theft of our future. If all we lost was time, the cost might be manageable. But the true devastating price of chronic procrastination isn't measured in hours or days. It's measured in the erosion of identity. If the cost of our daily inaction is our future, then we must confront the most terrifying scene in this story, the person we fail to become. This is the version of you that wrote the book, started the business, learned the language, or got in shape. Every time you say tomorrow, you are not just delaying a task, you are casting a vote against that version of yourself. At first, it's a single vote, easily ignored. But over time, the votes accumulate. A pattern emerges. You begin to build an identity not on your actions and accomplishments, but on your intentions and deferrals. You become the person who is going to do things, but never the person who does them. This is a profound betrayal of the self. Your self-trust plummets. You no longer believe your own promises because you have a mountain of evidence that you won't follow through. The impact is catastrophic. The dream that once felt possible now feels delusional. The ambition that once burned brightly is now just a faint, smoky reminder of a fire that went out. So if the true cost of this habit is the person we were meant to be, then what exactly are we getting in return? To answer that, we have to look directly at the currency we are paid in, the lie of the perfect moment. This isn't just a story about a lazy person. It's the story of a perfectionist, terrified that their real-world effort won't live up to the pristine vision in their head. By delaying, they preserve the fantasy that, under the right conditions, more time, more energy, more inspiration, they could have been perfect. It's a defense mechanism. In this sense, procrastination is a kind of tragic self-preservation. It's similar to the philosophical paradox of the ship of Theseus. The thought experiment asks if a ship, which has had all of its wooden planks replaced one by one over time, remains the same ship. Chronic procrastination is our ship of Theseus. Every day we choose comfort over effort. We are swapping out a plank of our ambitious, capable self for a plank of our passive, avoidant self. One day, we look in the mirror and realize that while the vessel has the same name, it is an entirely different ship, no longer built for the journeys it was once designed to take. We must now understand how this transformation is not only accepted, but often celebrated. But I know what you're thinking. What about the diamonds made under pressure? What about that last-minute burst of genius that saves the day? That single moment of success seems to refute this entire argument. It feels like a superpower, a testament to our ability to perform when it really counts. This is the most dangerous illusion of all. Let's deconstruct that moment of clutch performance. That surge of energy is not a state of heightened creativity. It's a panic-induced survival response. Your brain is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. You're not in a flow state, you're in fight or flight. The work you produce is rarely your best. It's merely the best you could do while a proverbial lion was chasing you. We mistake the immense relief of surviving, the deadline for the genuine satisfaction of creating something great. That feeling of euphoria isn't pride. It's the addict getting their fix. And worse, it validates the entire destructive cycle.
It provides just enough positive reinforcement to convince us that waiting is a viable, even optimal strategy. So, here is the second, more profound realization. The perceived virtue of performing under pressure is not an exception to the rule of procrastination. It is the central pillar that holds the entire prison together. Even our greatest success born from delay is merely the most elegant celebration of our deepest flaw. So let's assemble the full mosaic. We began with the myth that procrastination is just laziness.
Then we uncovered its true nature as an emotional avoidance strategy. We calculated its devastating cost, the gradual replacement of our true identity, and we just dismantled the final seductive lie, the myth of pressure-forged brilliance. All the pieces now point to one inevitable truth. The final breaking point for the procrastinator isn't a missed deadline or a single failed project. It is the slow, quiet dawn of recognition. It's the moment you look back, not at a day or a week, but at a year, or 5 or 10, and the gap between the life you've lived and the one you intended to live has become an uncrossable chasm. The accumulated weight of 1,000 forgotten tomorrows finally becomes unbearable. Now that we understand the machine that drives us to wait, we can finally calculate the full cost. What does the final invoice for a lifetime of deferred dreams truly say? The answer changes everything.